Another big conspiracy, the moon landing. The funny thing about that is, so I hear the argument that people, people will say that, oh, there's motivation to lie about that kind of thing and fake it. But there's two issues with that. First of all, um, the tech back in the '60s, the technology to fake such a thing was more difficult, would have been more difficult, more costly than just going to the moon and actually doing it. It was literally easier to go to the moon than to fake it. And even if you don't believe that, guess who was watching the whole thing? Russia was watching the whole thing. If we had faked it, Russia would have called bullshit because we had the whole space race going. They were the first to launch a satellite. They were the first to launch a person into orbit. We were the first, when I say we, the U.S., was the first to land on the moon. Russia had every motivation to call bullshit, but they were watching it and congratulated the U.S. for successfully landing. If we had faked it, Russia would have been all over it. The fact that Russia was like, yep, GG. Yeah. Anybody who claims it was a conspiracy and it was faked, they're just, they're not rubbing their two brain cells together fast enough. So it's just sometimes just a little bit of logic. Like, yes, there's motivation for somebody to lie, but what would it take for the lie to actually, what would it take for it to be a lie? What would it take for it to be something different than the story being told? And you start to really, and when people start to make those claims, start to really stretch it. Another fun one is the whole flat earth thing. There's people that actually believe that. And what's hilarious about that is there have been people who got some expensive equipment out to prove the earth was flat. And they will do these experiments to prove it's flat, and what they end up doing is proving that it's round. And then they go, well, there must be something wrong with the instruments. It's like, what? You repeat the same expensive experiment over and over and over again, and you get the same result with calibrated instruments, and you just say, well, it's not what I expected, therefore it's wrong. It's like, that's not how science works. You've got to be willing to change your point of view when presented with compelling evidence contrary to what you thought was the case. And I always say, as a rational thinking human, I reserve the right to change my viewpoint at any given time, given new input. Given data I didn't have before, I reserve the right to change my viewpoint.